There you go. That's good enough. I need a gap of sound and then a sharp sound. And then you just take the waveforms from all the different things and you line them up. And all our videos are
Okay, so the first time you did that, it was so loud.
Oh, yeah.
So embarrassing.
Was it?
For me, it is. You don't have normal social convention, like
shame. Right? Shameless.
Yeah, you are shameless.
Yes.
I'm full of shame. So, hey, we're here on. First I'd like to say this to you. Welcome to the show.
Oh, you did it
at South Point.
The show at South Point.
Well, because it's a we've got a lot of people here today, Jared.
A lot of people here every day.
Yeah, Jared. And. This guy's frozen in time. I think he's frozen.
Right.
You just quiet. Loosen up, bro. Loosen up. No one's watching us. You're good, okay?
I'm watching you. I'm judging you right now.
Jared, you have something to say to the audience who's not watching?
The audience?
Yeah, exactly. Never mind.
I don't rate those people.
No. Right. Tatianna, welcome. Tatianna from Ukraine. Is that right?
Yes. Glad to be here.
I can't hear you. You have to talk louder.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Potential, anyways, a guest co-chair. But today we have Dr. Stephen Kavitsky with us. It sounds so official.
It
sounds so official. Did I say it right?
My doc.
Stephen Kavitsky?
Yeah,
Doc? Nickname Doc, yeah.
For Dr. K.
Kavitsky, Jewish, right? That's a very Jewish name, yeah.
No, it isn't very. It's Russian.
It's Russian?
But I'm not in a hurry.
It's Russian.
But I'm not in a hurry.
Russian, I get it. That was... Jared, did you like that joke?
I'm frozen in time as well right now. I just remembered how we kicked this off last time.
Yeah.
I'm deciding if I should kick it off the same way.
Yeah, because this is our first interview was
It came out great too. We had all kinds of great questions.
Yeah, it did. Content-wise, but audio video was messed up.
Your responses and your general knowledge makes it a lot more fun. So it's like you ask a question and the real answer is there sometimes. And if somebody is good at their work, then the real answer is simple. And if somebody is bad at their work, then the real answer is very complicated.
Yeah.
And so the simple answers are like, oh yeah, have more sex. Yes.
And yeah, like
that's
I mean, it's true, right? Like, why is the iPhone so great? Because it's easy to use. It's very, it's very simple. They made the whole thing simple.
It's for like people with little baby brains, right?
Yep, right, exactly. That's me. Anyways, back to our guest. The star. Holistic doctor and MD. Holistic MD and sex educator. Chiropractor. What other hats do you wear?
What are the hats to wear?
What other things do you do?
I'm a realtor.
Realtor. Okay,
Full service realtor.
Realtor?
How'd you do with that? Realty is like
So it's kind of fun. Meeting people, helping people. I just get pleasure.
Yeah. Talk louder.
I get pleasure in helping people. Being a doctor, is a sports medicine doctor
sports medicine.
For 31 years, Calabasas, California.
Oh, that's
fun. I
fun.
had the opportunity to do a lot of celebrities, a lot of teams, and just helping people.
Yeah, helping people.
So when I had to retire, it took away the fun. So I became a realtor to help people again. So I'm just a people person.
Author too.
Being a people.
Author.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Of a sex book.
A what?
Really? A sex book.
You need to talk about it.
Author of a sex book.
Okay,
it's
good.
Called,
Thank
We'd
you.
Have great sex.
If you need to yell into the, if you need to yell
if you weren't here,
huh?
Did you say we'd have great sex if you weren't here?
Yeah, that's what the name of the title is. Because it's an answer to everything.
That's a great title for a sex.
Okay, what was it? Can you say the title of your book that you're writing?
We would have great sex if you weren't here. It's more of an education. It's more of a how-to book on sex.
Okay.
For example, most guys, they're clueless on sex. They're clueless with the touching, the emotional part, getting in touch with themselves, and getting in touch with their partners. So their reality is what's known as porn, which is not realistic at all. So that's why it's harsh, it's not real.
Yeah.
So my thing shows about, in fact, one of the biggest chapters is just on kissing.
Yeah.
How important kissing is.
Kissing?
Yeah.
Ew.
It's prelude to, and touching is prelude to sex anyway. How to
What?
touch.
Tatianna,
Yes.
you got something to say?
Yes.
This is exciting. You know.
I'm
you
bored
agree.
with, men doesn't know what they do.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I agree. Like, there is a problem with men engaging women, sort of sexually. There's a huge incelibacy problem in the U.S., which means involuntary celibacy, And I think maybe describe some of the problems, Porn is a huge thing. People think, it is a huge thing. And they collect in groups, too. What?
It's harsh, just like when people, I don't know how graphic we get on your show, but men are really harsh with the
What do you mean? You say how you need to educate us. You know what I mean?
One of my chapters it deals with same sex. One of another big chapter of mine is
what?
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
No, I think the best advice I ever got on kissing I got from a science fiction book, and it was Stranger in a Strange Land, the Heinlein book, right?
You like that book?
Yeah, and the guy from Mars who's never encountered humans meets his first girl, right? He kisses her, and she's like, "Well, that was the best kiss I've ever had." He's like, "How did you do that? You've never done it before." And he's like, "Well, that was all I was doing right there." I was like, there's nothing, as soon as it started, I was just, everything else turned off because that was different than anything from my entire reality to that point. And so my mind was silent and all I was paying attention to was you. And then that's worked for me for most of my life. I've gotten some compliments over the years.
Kissing's important.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's the meat and potatoes of the kissing chapter?
Another one that's really important too is foreplay versus afterplay. Foreplay, it should happen anyway. There's magnetic response to people. But afterplay, people like guys, afterward they just go to sleep, right? So it's so unreal because after you have an orgasm, you have actually more energy. So it's just a way that they don't need to socialize with their partner. They don't want to deal with it, so it's easier to say no. No, the afterplay.
So you say orgasm gives you more energy?
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
In fact, that's why women that have multiple orgasms or able to have multiple orgasms, much more energy. It reduces the aging process of women. That's why they glow. When people say, "Wow, you glow," you do. It changes everything. It's like a reset. Do you know that actually having orgasms in a woman reduces the ability to having a breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancers, no cancers, because it's utilizing the hormones to work. Same thing with men, when they have orgasms, it reduces the chance of having.
Man, I wish food was like that too. It's like I wish food was like that too, because it's like sex feels good, and then if you do it a lot, it's better for you. The more you do it, the better it is for you. And then food just lies to you all the time, right? It's like, sugar, and you're like, oh no, it's like pretty close to poison. More of it you eat, the faster you die. I wish everything was like that. If it felt good, then it's good for you.
The thing also,
So you're saying, if I may.
I thought you were talking about like when you eat the same as you're having sex, like the same satisfaction.
Well, it's dopamine. There's a big dopamine release.
well, like when you
Food,
exercise,
sugar,
when you
sex,
do- but when
after
you do-
endorphins. Yeah. There's pleasure hormones.
when
It's
you
good
do-
for you,
Right, or after
Like
like cigarette, like one of the only times I'll still smoke tobacco is
because you don't know how to socialize with a partner. It's like you did your deed, you're done, I'm gone. It's so unfair. I mean, to me, after play, we were saying, "Wow, look at magic we just created. Man, was that wonderful? Oh my God, I love you. That connection we just made."
Well, primally, men and women are different. Primally, men and women are different.
So in the uterus-
We are set up differently, DNA. You know what I mean? Like, orgasms are different. For a man and a woman, the biological things are different.
It's still releasing
So
endorphins.
to bridge that gap is tough.
No, but you're still releasing it.
No, it's not tough. Yeah, it is tough. That's why you're writing a book.
Oh,
I
for
didn't know
men,
there
for
was
men.
afterplay.
Huh?
I didn't know there was afterplay.
There is now.
I'm definitely reading your book.
Okay, so the thing is
That's
what
not
do you do,
fair.
Tatianna, after having a sexual involvement with someone? What do you do afterward? Read a book?
I have a cigarette. manifest
Cigarette.
a cigarette.
Yeah.
So now you just did the energetic thing. You cleansed your body. You did a reset.
Massage.
You're cleansing,
It's like
and now you're
massage.
polluting
Right.
it with nicotine.
There's not one template though,
It's great.
right? Sometimes there's foreplay, sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's
there's
ex-play,
always-
sometimes there's not. I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
Is caressing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
foreplay.
Yeah. No,
Foreplay is just getting in tune to one another.
There's not.
But
I don't
we're on the same page.
I don't think anyone should have a checklist. Going into a sexual encounter.
But
Okay, number one, foreplay, right? And you feel the vibe, you feel what's
Foreplay is
going
when you
on.
encounter each other. That's foreplay.
I know, probably
It's
been
getting
talking.
First of all, look.
I
A
think
woman
it's
has to have her
natural, intuitive.
There are glands that a woman has called the skin glands and the Bartholin glands. Those are the ones that secrete the lubrication in the uterus, in the vaginal bulb, so that you don't get frictional irritation.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse if a girl's not ready to sit there and have dry rub. It's
Well, I mean,
uncomfortable,
I was trying
it's
to
not
think if I
enjoyable.
ever had sex without foreplay of any kind. I think once I can think of, or like maybe twice of the exact same
Well, I mean,
place.
biologically-
It was at work with the girl that I just started hooking up with that work. And
Probably
they're
just
like,
getting
you're like
ready,
closet
just getting-
bone out,
Well, okay, I may say this though. Biologically, if you look at it, like. Okay,
I feel like she say something here.
go ahead.
Because it's like gone way like man's side of this. Like
Yeah, no.
what they want.
You can steer in a new direction. What's the new topic?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And we get all high pressure. What's the new topic? Go.
Yeah. No, and and also a doc to the celebrities, right? Which you can't name.
I can't name.
You cannot name the doctor to celebrities.
That's like pretty normal
Not-
though. I think
not
that
one
a lot of them
celebrity.
have contracts like that. Like I had a buddy that watched
Tell you
like
after.
jails
Still alive?
Tell you after Hammer.
and like he had to sign a contract and he couldn't tell people he watched
Like
jail.
one of my
He can't say though. He can't say we
one of my
did.
patients was a rapper, and he said to me, he says, Doc, you're so cool, you're funny. He said, I'm going to give you a street name. So he said, he thought
You give me a what?
street name.
Okay.
So I used to go by Dr. K because people used to refer me to their friends. My last name's Kavitki, which is hard to pronounce. That's Dr. Kevorkian. Well, if you know who Dr. Kevorkian is, the death doctor.
Death doctor. Yeah.
Which I applaud, I really do. I think he's doing assisted death, which is, I thought he did well.
How do you acquire a celebrity?
So
Patient.
by the area that's practicing Calabasas, that's where they all live.
Calabasas.
Partying. You're probably partying, right?
To the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars, everything. Anyway, so he said, I got it, Dr. K-Ray-Z. Dr. K-Ray-Z. He said, because you're a crazy motherfucker. So he said, I bet your life doctor has a street name. So I'm known as Dr. K-Ray-Z. So I tried to put on my license plate, right? You can put hyphens on it, so it came out Dark Rays. I said, I'll forget that.
Makes me think that you peddle cocaine because you have a street name and you're a doctor.
Now, I have a question for the group, right? What is holistic medicine? What is that? What is holistic medicine?
My interpretation of holistic is something that's
So you say your interpretation is what?
something that's occurring naturally.
Naturally.
That's
Holistic medicine is
it has
natural
a medicinal
medicine.
purpose for a
Just talk a little
specific
louder.
ailment or condition.
Yeah.
So, and again, God, if you believe in God or whoever created this universe or our world,
Yeah.
you gotta, it's all there. You don't need pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
The only thing good for some pharmaceuticals.
I like ibuprofen though. I love ibuprofen.
Okay, as a substitute, use aspirin. Aspirin's an anti-inflammatory.
I like both.
It's an
I take both.
Okay, but aspirin's natural. In fact,
Okay.
the Indians that are indigenous to Native American Indians,
There's something
they're
like
the
a
ones that
tiny dose.
discovered
What is it like
came
8
from the-
milligrams of aspirin every day prolongs anybody's life or something like that?
Well, no, it thins blood.
Yeah, heart, bear. Yeah, I've heard that. Like bear aspirin, you take it.
the
It also
tiny-
prevents because it's blood thinning. It prevents
But the
heart
thing
attacks,
is,
heart issues. It does.
If
That's what I
you're
hear.
on blood thinners, say any kind of blood thinners, okay?
You
Prescriptive blood thinners,
take any type
you're
of
getting, no, if you are on blood thinners, you're getting half the capacity of oxygen to the most important part of your brain, to any part of the body for repair or anything.
That makes sense.
So what happens, is there are natural ways of increasing, having it. You can make the blood slipperier by taking vitamin E, so it flows through easier. You could do a natural vitamin B3, which is niacin, which is vasodilator.
Yeah.
That's that one that gives you that flush.
Vitamins. Vitamin supplements. No.
And
Is
then
there a
you take
difference?
iron with it because iron is a binding capacity for the oxygen.
Okay.
That's a heme,
Yeah.
the hemoglobin. So why would you do something that's not natural?
Well,
it's all there.
because it works really well.
No, it's easy access.
Like
It's easy.
morphine. Morphine is amazing.
Okay, where did morphine derive from? It's a
What?
natural- morphine was a natural substance.
Oxycontin, amazing, incredible.
A couple of chemical conversions and you get fentanyl. It's a little too strong.
Think about what?
People who has migraines.
Right, migraines.
And
Those are terrible.
Okay, but see, here's what I'm saying.
chiropractic
Here's what I'm
can
saying.
eliminate migraines. I've had several patients. In fact, you were saying about tinnitus. Remind me, I'll just
Yeah, can we cure my tinnitus on air, please? That'd be great. I do actually want that. We'll do that at the end. I also want a quick thing. Go 49ers. It's a Super Bowl weekend, so go
Or
Niners.
Chiefs.
What?
yeah.
Chiefs.
Out. Gone. No. Okay. I want to bring it back to. I think you're describing natural medicine or homeopathy, maybe, and then also holistic medicine. I think they're different. And correct me if I'm wrong. Holistic doctor takes. Okay, there's a problem somewhere.
Oh man, what's that? It's
There's
what
a
the
problem.
problem is it's or what he's talking about is like I think it's called like Jacob's fence or something like that, and it's the idea that if you come across the fence in the middle of nowhere, just leave the fence alone. Don't tear it down. Like if you buy new land and you find a fence somewhere, don't do anything with it because you don't know if somebody's like got a bull back there or what the hell's back there.
Yes.
And so then there's like things like aspirin compared to newer medicines, and you'd say maybe the new medicines do not have any negative effects, but there is a chance that you won't even see negative effects for generations. Right? Or something
True.
weird along
20
those
years.
lines.
As an average, it takes 20 years. That's why women are
20 years to what?
to develop into a carcinogenic situation.
What? Taking the wrong medicine?
Yeah.
No,
So you take the wrong medicine, and in
Okay,
20 years
it's
you
been
get
proven-
cancer.
It's been proven for like birth control for women, and it's always put onto the woman. It's so unfair.
Man, one of the most successful experiments in history for figuring out what was poisonous and not was a monastery, and we still use the data to this day. And it was because the monk dudes were just like, all right, we're going to have these 3 monks, and you guys are going to eat these berries, and you're going to have one, a little bit, you're going to have kind of a little bit more, and you're going to have kind of a lot. And then they just do it their whole lives. And if like all 3 monks, die of stomach ulcers, then you're like, it's probably the berries. And they recorded that for hundreds of years. Wow. And so dudes just literally poisoned themselves to death.
Did they know this? Were they aware that they were poisoning themselves to death?
That was their service to humanity. That was what they were doing. And so they went to that monastery to poison themselves to death. They'd be like,
Test out
yeah,
how,
they're like,
poison.
we need to write this down. These are not good for you. We've been eating these for like generations, and they poison you.
Right.
Like, for example-
But could I go back to my question? Natural medicine. I'm talking about holistic medicine. Natural medicine is different than holistic medicine. Holistic medicine takes a problem and looks at the total holistic view of the person, and then they diagnose it from there.
Lifestyle, emotions,
Lifestyle, emotions.
A homeostatic situation.
Right. So sometimes so here's my contention, here's my theory. Sometimes we use natural medicine to cure a problem in the holistic part, and sometimes we can even use Western medicine, pharmaceuticals appropriately in certain dosages, along with that to fix the holistic problem.
But the situation with that is,
Yes.
example,
So you don't like it. You don't like that
Let
idea.
me tell you. No, I think it's wonderful.
Okay, great.
The medical doctors.
I like how you
in
yelled
general-
there. I could actually hear you.
Medical doctors in general, what they'll do if they're treating a person for cancer and they're on chemotherapeutic drugs or radiation therapy, they'll tell them, don't do anything natural because it interferes with what we're doing.
I think that's
How
garbage.
stupid.
That's
How
stupid.
to do that.
That's
So people
stupid.
die because people don't die from the cancer, they die from the treatment.
Right,
You know?
right. So, like, couldn't we use a little bit of, focus cybernite?
that's perfect.
And then take a little bit of the, lion's mane mushrooms?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But there's also people who go through medications, trying different things, and then they stop and they go to, I don't know, holistic medicine.
Right. Oh, yeah, right. At the end. But they've already destroyed their body. They've already destroyed their body with chemotherapy, radiation. You know.
You're making me think of all kinds of interesting thoughts.
Good.
It's holistic thought pattern, because like you could, in the modern world, you could call credit repair holistic medicine. Credit repair. Or like helping somebody out financially, right?
Right.
Because if somebody's just stressed all
That's
the
true.
freaking time because of that, and then you make it go away, you're like, okay, all your health things are starting to clear up. What a
That is so
mystery.
true.
What happened?
Stress.
You know?
Stress indicates that there are can cause
You hate your house, or you hate your
right,
wife,
or you're in debt, or you don't like your job,
whatever.
you know what I
Stress
mean, or whatever.
produces
You know?
cortisol, which creates weight,
Moving to
creates all different
psychology,
things.
like
The hormones
how
of the
you
body
feel
are the ones that are
happy.
necessary
Moving to
for cure.
psychology.
Well, here we go.
where
Okay.
you
Yeah,
feel
it starts to be everything at that point. You're like, okay, like, I mean, that starts to be like the concept of like, is society healthy? Right?
No,
Or
we're
is
not.
living
This
the
is
city
collective insanity.
healthy?
We're all part of it,
You know, or like,
are
are we
hormones.
always slightly sicker and slightly sadder and slightly short? That's how I feel like the modern world thing is. We're all slightly sicker, slightly sadder, just based on the environment.
No, it's true. We're out of this. We're connected.
Right.
No, we're plugged in. We're part of it right now. You know, and also hormones. Let's start talking about hormones. You know what I mean? Wow. Well, hormonal changes as you go through life can affect your health.
You know what's
Right?
funny is women that go through the hot flashes, supposedly going through menopause. Do you know that in Japan, there's not even a word for menopause? They don't go through that. It's
In
not
Japan, that it,
because they eat the proper thing, fish.
or maybe the women don't complain. I'll be here all week.
So what
Is
happens?
that real?
Yeah.
I've
So
never
what
heard
happened?
that.
Okay, so the creator of bodies, they didn't create it that a woman has her period, right? And then just a sublimation. Then it just goes to not having a period. It doesn't mean she has to go through all this hot flashes or this. It's ridiculous. It doesn't. It doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist.
Oh, that's
it's just one day you have your period.
Second.
One day you're not productive, not having ovulation. You
What
don't
shouldn't
need-
exist again? I want to stop there for a second.
Menopause.
What shouldn't exist?
Hot flashes.
Menopause
No,
should
menopause
exist.
is. Menopause is just saying you're going from being fertile
There's
to
a
not
therapy when you put like a little thing on you. I don't remember.
If you eat proper nutrition, you can get rid of it. It doesn't happen.
So you're saying
Leeches?
Yeah,
The food.
Yeah.
Western foods.
peaches? You said peaches. Peaches?
No.
Leeches.
Leeches. I'm hungry. I would like a peach now. I could eat a peach for hours.
But they take blood out of you, so it's like a process that humans have every time. So it's supposed to help with menopause.
Yeah, and I know they have found actual medical uses for
Leeches.
bleeding now. If I
Leeches,
remember right,
they
it's
still do that. They still use it.
amputation.
Yeah.
So you get your finger cut off, or you get and you put leeches on the side that got cut off, and they help pull the blood in. They got all kinds of blood thinners and stuff in their spit, and so it just helps the healing go on. So they still use leeches in hospitals now. And I think that's really interesting.
Here's an interesting fact. So Western medicine, we're the richest country.
Pharmaceutical,
supposedly,
right.
And pharmaceutical is
Western, right.
And we have the worst health. We have the highest health span.
Stomach cancers.
Every kind of cancer.
But, you know,
in the third world countries, they don't have cancer. What they die from is lack of food, malnutrition, or non-potable water. You know, because of bacteria. Isn't that strange that we bring in here because our foods, the air, the reductivity,
I've heard
our
called
devices,
the
our
diseases of
electronic,
affluence.
it's our culture that just feeds into society and creating cancers.
Yeah.
It's so I tell people, if you can, get the best air purifier you can, get the best water purifier you can. Because everything, it doesn't matter if you shower, even though the skin is the largest organ in the body, because you can always, use topicals to get rid of that stuff. But internally, no, it's really important. Even animals, if you notice animals, people are favoring more for their dogs, cats, whatever, getting healthier foods.
Yeah, right.
There's a correlation.
Yeah, it all starts. Garbage in, garbage out.
No, that's a problem. Garbage in, it stays in. It doesn't get out.
Garbage
you don't
in.
eliminate it.
Garbage out. No, I'm saying like you feel like garbage.
I know.
You
I
feel like
said
garbage.
you don't eliminate.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
You don't eliminate it.
Well, you say that you can eliminate, menopause symptoms. You can't eliminate menopause, but it's the
Mine
symptoms.
symptoms. Why would
I
you
do
have
remember
to
watching a presentation about
A woman would that'd be horrible for a woman to be bleeding her whole life.
So, and also, how about this depression too, right? And there are people say like, I'm depressed. Okay, well let's prescribe you an anti-seizure psychotic medicine, and literally the symptoms are on the antidepressant medicine is suicide and more depression, right? You have depression because there's something in your external world that is causing this.
It's a mindset.
So instead of going to a psychologist, you go to a holistic doctor that's going to examine your life, your credit score. You know what I mean? Bank accounts. And what are you eating?
I swear that
environment.
Long periods of meditation daily for human beings.
Wait, what?
I swear that long periods of meditation time daily is like
100%
core things that we lost, and that it's just like and I don't think we did it on purpose. I don't think ancestors weren't like, oh, I'm gonna meditate. I think we were just bored all the time, right? Just like sitting under a bush, like staring out at nothing going on.
What?
You meditated today?
Yeah, I did. I meditated while I was in the hot yoga class this morning. I almost died. Meditation. Do you meditate?
All the time.
Meditation
First of
killing people.
all, meditation, like the transcendental meditation.
Oh, that's the best. Transcendental meditation is my favorite thing in the world.
Calming your body. So
What?
just breathing, closing your eyes. I'm a certified hypnotherapist also. So what I used to do is help.
You're hypnotist.
Yeah, but I don't do stage hypnosis.
Okay, go ahead. Hypnotize me. Go. I'm ready.
They'd be all like, just
I'm ready. Go
I
ahead.
just said we
I'm
don't
ready.
do stage hypnosis.
I'm ready. Hypnotize me.
No.
Do it. I'm unhypnotizable. I'm just
No,
gonna
you're
say.
not. No.
Oh, I am. I will give someone $1,000 if they can hypnotize me.
Okay, because you're just.
you have to consent.
You have to,
Exactly,
just
I'll
let
never
your body
consent.
go.
You have to consent. Yeah. So it's not that you're unhypnotizable.
Well, hold on.
Everyone's
Okay,
just
okay.
going to your
Oh, I say like African chicken. Okay, I guess I'll do what you say. No,
I don't do
that's
that.
ridiculous. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around.
You can mess.
Can we have fun? Can we have fun?
Woohoo! Fun,
Okay,
maybe I'm a party animal
That's
now.
too much fun. You know what I mean? That's good. But I'm saying we look at what we look at the
I have full-on
let me fix it.
daily psychedelic
Meditation.
experiences doing meditation.
Yeah.
And it's like
So we're off the sex part now, huh?
We are off the sex part
Oh,
permanently.
I mean, there's-
And we're going
there's a lot of
I
into
think I'm
meditation.
gonna use my warehouse
You know
for
what
an
I mean?
event space, and there's
Meditation or
definitely gonna be
masturbation.
sex
I mean, that's a
parties
sex thing.
there.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, so, wait, you said something about your warehouse.
Oh,
What about your warehouse? And
warehouse
how is it
is
related to a
getting
holistic doctor?
Warehouse is getting converted to an event space, half on, half off, but there's definitely going to be sex parties there. I had a friend of mine that used to go to those all the time, and they're like, any good event venue that invites that, and they're like, yeah, you can do that here. It's just booked constantly, right? Because like there's not that many of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that
Definitely
sounds great. Like,
Definitely give
what
that.
a blast.
Definitely give that information
There are
to a
things-
doctor.
There are
Doing-
things that are real important, sensitivity.
you know,
acts.
people showing up in dog masks
We
or
used to
whatever.
do-
You're like,
we used
great,
to-
fucking.
Yeah.
I used to do-
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, about they're called sensitivity acts. We're getting awareness. We have a group of people, usually about 12 people, totally naked, and you just touch them.
Okay.
That's tantrum sex.
Just
Tantrum sex.
Yeah. So just touching and just the awareness of realizing that a woman feels totally different than a male. I mean, just the whole response.
Yeah.
The response of touching. And again, touching is a prelude to sex, but it's the staying away from it, and more of the inhibiting yourself on that point, just to realize you're just touching, feeling, and the sensitivity.
I remember I did learn a set of techniques at one point. I was going to these classes on the topic, and I did learn a set of techniques that could like massively increase the orgasmic sensation.
Yeah.
And it works for both parties, and it's the same technique. And like the only reason it's not like, hey, let's do that every time is if you do it, it takes like 45 minutes to an hour of like preparation.
Transcendental meditation at a time.
It's like weird kinds of massage and like like little you're basically like turning on all your nerve endings.
There is
like
something
tiny amounts of slapping, right? And your skin turns on a little bit more, and you can feel touch a lot. It feels like the noggins turned up on the sensation itself.
Kama Sutra, right? There's a whole Indian practice. You know, there is something to that, and I'm going to bring back to holistic medicine, because a proper sex life.
They had the breathing orgasm too, which is really fun, and like once you learn how to do it, it's not that hard to pull it off.
Yeah.
Like that's one everybody should learn how to do, because it's like you can do the recycling orgasms. People who cannot multi-orgasm.
Wow.
Once you learn the breathing technique, then you can just like it goes, and then you just keep breathing, and it just keeps going. And you're stuck
There's something there, isn't there?
Endless orgasmic loop until you decide to stop breathing like that.
Right.
It's pretty great.
And there's so much we don't know about that in the Western mind. But also,
I consider that
good
the same.
Sex life is important for a good, healthy, like overall holistic. That could be part of the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like
be part of the problem.
It's
It's
like
some therapy.
cooking. You have to learn how to cook to some extent, and to cook food for yourself that's healthy. And then that's generally understood, and then that same kind of thought pattern applies to sex. But that's not generally understood, and there's not general consensus.
Yeah, right.
Like all the science demonstrates that, and a lot of the ancient teachings and the writings and like self-help things say that. But not everybody agrees. They're like, no, you'll go take cooking classes, and you'll get cookbooks, and you'll do all this stuff, and then spend zero amount of time studying or learning how to do sex.
Right.
And so like the very baseline of like the book, or like your book, like at least you should be reading a fucking book about it. Here's one of them. There's thousands. There's hundreds.
But there's a thing called innate intelligence, and it just
what? It's called what?
Innate intelligence.
Innate intelligence.
The inner intelligence of our body. And there's something that there's a healing process that goes on when you activate it. And when you're with a person, just the exchange of energy, touching, is so important to healing. That's why massage therapy, it really works.
Yeah.
There are many different types of massage.
Massage. Another tool in the holistic doctor's chiropractic, sports med. You know what I mean? Like there's all these tools in the holistic doctor's thing.
Absolutely.
Wait, what?
And part of foreplay.
Another part of foreplay.
It is, absolutely.
What is?
Touching and massage.
Yeah, like
massage.
Yes.
The whole purpose is to get people on the same page, basically.
Actually, sometimes it doesn't include touch. There are techniques there. I've read where you just look at each other naked. I'm just saying. I heard that too.
Hold on, there's
no single template, and there's no single person that's the same.
There was a technique that a friend of mine went to Japan to learn.
He went to wait. A friend of yours went to Japan to learn a sex technique.
It wasn't a sex technique. It was a set of healing hands.
Healing
hands. A type of massage. But I always thought it was a particularly interesting form because they didn't. There was no actual massage involved. Right? They'd be like, it was just like, somebody has this illness, so just put your hand on their shoulder.
Because
and you just leave it there. Energy. Or they'll be like, and there was like a whole section, he was there was like a whole month where they were just studying like different slight variations on ways to hug people to help their illnesses and their mood and things like that. They're like, this is this kind of hug and it helps people with depression. And this is this kind of hug that helps people with gastric issues. And here's this kind of hug, and it was all just plain ass hugging though. Like, where did your arms go? Where'd your hands end up?
But you know what?
Yeah, it feels great. You're like,
when someone's
a lot of people hug. I mean, they feel awkward about it.
Yeah, when someone's scared, what do? You hug them. So it works. When someone is any kind of
that's how we're made.
Yeah.
We are made to connect
to help each other
mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
I almost wanted to buy one of those, those autistic shirts where they the shirt's super tight right around your vagus nerve, and it makes them feel like they're getting hugged. And it's like somebody invented it for autistic kids because then they're just they're comfortable and then they can hang out and do stuff. Wow! But I was like, I bet you it works on everybody.
That's
if I put one on, I'd be like, oh yeah.
I remember now. when people get like anxiety, you know, or like fear or something that has.
Yeah, or like I thought it was really interesting that everybody forgot that breathe in a bag totally works. You know,
For
like,
anxiety?
like yeah, like it really works very well.
Because you're cutting down on your oxygen levels, you're breathing carbon dioxide.
You know, I always thought anxiety attacks were bullshit. You know, like, oh, they didn't. Well, that's what I always thought. But then I had my first anxiety attack ever, like post COVID. Like, I'm like, that's what a weird experience. So now, like, if they ever come on, which is like, I don't know, like extremely rare, like I recognize them, I breathe my way through it,
Smoke
which
cannabis.
makes sense. Like, yeah, well,
cannabis.
right, that's also good. Hey,
Natural.
cannabis. Now talk about some plant medicine there. Am I right? All right, yeah, here we go.
And you know the gummy bears
That's
and
your
stuff that they're selling?
That's your topic.
That was the last. There's topics, yeah. That was topics, yeah. Yeah, I can talk about weed all day. I mean, I can talk about a lot of stuff all day long, but still, it's great. It's interesting, you know? I think it's a great tool. Well, weed, I think it's important. I think it's an entheogen. You know, do you know what an entheogen is, guys? You know what an entheogen? A substance that brings you closer to God.
Oh man, that's
bring you spiritually up.
Rastafarian church. That's
Yep.
Smoking weed makes you closer to God.
Yeah,
That's what that is. It's weed Christianity.
Right, exactly.
I wouldn't know.
Sounds great.
Well,
Weed's fun.
the way you ask me, nice, you know. So, but
So
no, I was gonna say that no, so like in natural medicine, right? Like natural medicine, we have natural medicine, right? Or and we have and then like drugs are part of that. And I say there's a lot of drugs that are good tools are entheogens. Like for example, ayahuasca, breaking psychological, you know, mushrooms, psilocybin, weed, you know what I mean? Even tobacco. Those all with the right intention can bring you up spiritually. Entheogen, and that's much different than another type of drug, you know, like pharmaceutical drugs, cocaine or crack, you know.
You're making me think of the. You're talking about breathing through the anxiety, right?
Breathing through anxiety.
There's like, and I had forgotten this, sort of forgotten, but I like not really. It's like just something that's been around in my existence for so long that it's like natural and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's unconscious, but like, so you get super upset. You learn this breathing orgasmic technique where you breathe yourself into orgasm.
Okay.
And it looks weird when you do it the first couple times, right? But you can get it till it's pretty subtle, right? And
So you can
like,
breathe. You get.
I've definitely done that on an airplane. I've done that like on a bus. I've done that like sitting in a bar. Because you're like,
yeah,
tell me you're not doing it
in
now.
an airplane.
no.
I've had sex in a bus, and I've had sex in a bar. I've gotten the same effect.
But like,
I cannot.
Yeah, it's great. I've even had sex in restaurants.
Yeah. Well, no, it was a trick that I remember that was like if you like say you're on a long car ride, right, and you start getting sleepy, or you're going to someplace and you need to have your mind firing well and sharp, and you're just like, hold on, let me do the thing real quick. And you're like, oh my, and then all your brain turns on. And you're just a little bit smarter, and you're a little bit better mood, right? And your skin glows like you were talking about.
I'm going to tell you a technique right now you can do for anxiety.
Okay.
What I want all three
Take
of
us
you to
through it. Here we go. Doc, take us through the anxiety breathing thing.
Take a
Be
deep
loud
breath,
so we can hear.
Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Take count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't let it out. Take another deep breath in again, as more as you can do. You didn't let it out, did you? No, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now let it out slowly. So what you do is you're compacting, and then you're letting it out. It just gives the whole energy flow.
That didn't work.
I like it.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I feel great.
Oh man, I swear one of the coolest breathing techniques
He breathes.
I've ever
He's got a lot of breath work.
was
Breath work.
the ones that you do
I
for
do breath work too.
diving specifically.
Oh, you didn't say breast?
You breathe out, and you're because when you do those deep dives, if your lungs are filled up, you can injure yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so you like breathe out all the way, and you're holding your breath with your breath out for long periods of time. It's been a couple of years since I've like really practiced it, but it only took like 90 days, not even, like probably like a month, 2 months to get to 5 minutes and 6 minutes of breath holding in that state, and that's a very intense
State of
state to
Nevada?
sit in.
What state?
What's that?
State of California, state of Nevada.
Oh, state of being.
Oh,
He's trying to make a joke now.
Oh, yeah. No, it was. I did not get it. I did not get it.
Oh,
That was a horrible joke. And the whole reaction. I love that. That was so great. No, yeah, right.
But yeah, it's
what about holotropic
interesting
breathing?
state.
I guess
So
you're
you're talking
holotropic
about like
breathing.
Okay, so basically, real quick, not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But
and then being there for a long time. By the time you come back, you're like from a 6-minute breath hold, like you can't remember what you did earlier that day. Like it resets you to such an extent that you're like, what did I have for lunch?
that's not good.
Like it's it's just
we had
part
for
of the
lunch.
experience. That's one of the reasons it's dangerous to do the diving. It makes it weird.
Most people, or I'd say a big percentage of people, are shallow breathers. What you want to do is inspiration when you inhale. It should be half as long as expiration. Or when you exhale, it should take twice as long as when you inhale. Because you want to get all those impurities out. And that's what happens. It's a form of detoxifying your body. Just like people, when we eat, we take 2-3 bites and swallow. It's not mushing up the food, the bowls and the food, it's called a bolus in the mouth. You want to take a minimum of 23 chews before swallowing.
Can you imagine counting your chews before you're while you're eating?
Yeah, because that way it'll slow you down. And that way it's making it to a consistency that the body can assimilate it faster rather than just getting your stomach, getting your digestion, getting all
Maximize the
other
value.
stuff and then pooping it out where you got no nutritional value out of it.
I just swallowed my first bit of food.
There, it's okay. So,
Wow, I eat rushed. Wow.
most people take, like I
It
said,
changes
3
the
chews.
experience of eating.
I only have
I'm not
so
gonna
many.
count, but I should probably eat slower. Yeah.
The Buddhist thing is 20 times on the left side, 20 times on the right side, and swallow.
You guys are nuts.
But what you're supposed to do is
You
you are
guys are
supposed to shift
insane.
it back
Most
and
people
forth.
have like a very limited time to eat, like 5 minutes.
Oh, we're on lunch break. Oh, yeah.
Are you driving?
I must eat
eating and
entire
you're
Chipotle
drinking?
burrito.
Hey,
Oh, man.
that's why we should, you know
Eat
what?
salad, eat
That also could be
salad or
part of the problem
something
too. Like, you know what I mean? Even how you eat this good food is like to actually like be present and absorb the food, like be conscious, a conscious eater. I'm certainly not. I should be more. You know?
Yeah, you're supposed to turn everything off, sit still, and you're supposed to take pauses and drink water slowly because your body signals take like 10-15 minutes to kick off, and so a lot of people are fat or overeat just because they eat, and then if you pause for a second, you get the signal that, oh, I'm full. I don't need to keep going.
Yeah,
and then they
right.
just ignore it, or because they're just going, oh,
So-
and you like so into it and you like eat
oh yeah, you just eat the whole pizza.
the whole thing and you realize like, oh my god, did I eat all that, right?
You're like, I wasn't even hungry.
Yeah,
I mean, it was good.
But see, like,
That's what you eat because the food tastes good. You don't eat for nourishment. The satiety center in the brain, section of the brain that tells you, you know what, I'm full. But we go beyond that because our taste buds say, wow, it tastes so good, let me have more. No, when you chew slower, it actually gets you filled up faster. And look at our society.
Water.
Most overweight people are very
Probably
poor.
they say eat beets. Beets are nutritious or whatever they are, and you don't like tasting it. What do you do?
yeah.
I mean,
You say
that
beets?
ain't beets. Like a ginger, I don't know, whatever that would
Yeah, no, it's just like, I like beets.
But also, like, what kind of beets are you eating? Like, we can even break that even down. Like, these beets.
Well, the Russians, what do the Russians eat? Borscht with
Yeah,
beets and stuff.
borscht, yeah.
And
What is
Russians live for old. I mean,
What is borscht?
borscht is like a soup. Yeah.
I'm asking her.
Well, he has a Russian
So yeah, you are Ukraine.
beets are the bomb.
Yeah, yes or no?
Do you use sour cream with yours?
Yeah.
So what's borscht? What's borscht?
Black-
Russian,
black bread.
Ukraine. What is it? What?
It's like
What's borscht?
cabbage.
It's like sauerkraut, but it's beets. It's
No, and you
fermented
make
beets.
a soup
Fermented
out of it.
beets.
Yeah.
Okay.
and it is really good.
I'll take it to a place where you can try it.
Yeah, I've been making kissel in my house recently.
You what?
Kissel, it's a Russian recipe, and it's really good. It's you take oatmeal and you leave it on the counter in water for about 2 weeks, and it fully ferments until it's like sour. And then you filter out all the oatmeal, and there's this silt that's left at the bottom. And the silt, you take a tablespoon and you put it in a giant bowl of water and heat it and stir it, and it turns into like this thick, transparent stuff, right? It's like it's all the starch that came out of the polymeric starch that came out of the oatmeal. And so like to make a full meal, like for breakfast is 1 or 2 tablespoons of this powder, and it's like very, very dense, and your body absorbs it really well. And so I was using that for a while because you'd be like, you dry it out, and then you've got a bag of powder, and it's like a month worth of breakfast, and it's a tiny little bag. I was like, and it's just really tasty.
That's the thing too. It doesn't matter what you put in your system if you're not assimilating it, then it's worthless. So it can be good food, bad food. It doesn't matter. So it's all the intent of the body to assimilate everything that you're eating. So making good stuff.
Probiotics, important.
Very important.
For absorbing things.
Very
I find it very important. Kombucha, kefir, you know. I'm sure borscht, probably fermented beets. I'm sure there's some probiotics there. You know what I mean? Kimchi, fermented. I don't know what that is.
I love kimchi.
What is it? Fermented cabbage. These products.
Crazy easy to make too.
Yeah.
It's like
it's important. Now,
sort of. No, I'm thinking of sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's the super easy one. You just like
you know what?
pour salt and vinegar on it.
Cabbage has so many healing properties. It's
cabbage.
amazing. So any form of cabbage, sauerkraut, coleslaw, cabbage soup. In fact, there's one cure for ulcers.
Has mayo. Coleslaw made with mayo.
No, you don't with mayonnaise. It's just cabbage shredded. You can do it again. If you use natural, you can make natural. Use yogurt. Yogurt is really good. It's extremely.
Oh yeah, I'd make cake.
Garbage in, garbage out. Oh, sorry. Good in, you know. Quality in, quality out.
Really excellent breakfast, and I was kind of like just trying to pick the most nutritious like vegetables in a stack, right? And so like the base of it is like a big handful of collard greens and 1 sweet potato, right?
Collard
and you don't
greens
need
are
anything on that. You just
collard
like
greens
stir it
have
up.
more minerals and vitamins than any other.
Oh, that's why I picked it. I was like, I'd never eaten it that much.
The
And
thing
then
is, you
tried
gotta
it.
remember where the source comes from. Because it's
It tastes like, it feels like eating medicine.
Grow your own food. Grow your own vegetables. That way you ensure that you're using good water, using good nutrients, and you're replacing the minerals back in the soil. Because a lot of the foods we're eating, I'll give you an example. Spinach back in the Popeye days, remember Popeye?
Yeah, Popeye.
They were with the strike and everything.
Yeah.
Spinach used to be 95% iron, right? It was in the iron that made spinach. The soils now are depleted of minerals because farmers don't rotate crops.
Mono.
So what happens now? It's only 38%. So spinach just has an affinity for pulling out the iron in the soil. If it's not there, that's not what makes spinach. So if you're eating spinach thinking, oh, I'm going to be healthy, it's not even what it used to be. It's good for roughage now, but that's about it.
It's like so we took the cycle that we nested in, right? Is taking the stuff, the plant that's there, and what used to happen is you would eat it right there, and you defecate on the ground right there, and the soil, the unused nutrients go back the next time it rains.
Well, human feces.
That's interesting how you got out of that.
Move it somewhere else, and then pump the sewage out to the ocean, right?
Right.
So a lot of the nutritional content is potentially right where all the sewage is getting pumped into the ocean, like right at that opening right there.
Wow.
And so we've got like 50 or 70 years of that now, and so if you're thinking about trying to like make it healthy again, you either have to mine those minerals or get the sewage back out of the ocean and put it back in the ground.
That's like one of the best water sources.
That's a giant project.
And here's what I say. Here's what I say. I say all these things that you're talking about, amazing. All the things. All these things are important to making us, healthier person. You know what I mean? Like mental, sex, diet, all of it, emotional thing. But I'm saying we're fighting a losing battle. We're never going to win. It's only getting worse. We're not reversing this thing. We are in a collective insanity. I was coming home from Arizona tribal lands last week, and I was enjoying being with the wind, the clouds, and I was like connecting with it. And then I came back and I saw the lights in the valley, and I was convinced this is collective insanity. No wonder we're sick. Because in all these different points, we can't win.
Us as individuals,
we are fighting something we can't win.
No, you can win for your family. You can win for yourself.
No, yeah, win for yourself. But as a collective society, we're only getting sicker.
I would hope that
more cancer, more mental depression, more suicide.
Time moves on, we would see, because making cities originally was a really smart idea because it was the first time we ever invented hospitals, certain kinds of medicine, and like moving everybody in together. It was like a great idea. And now we're getting to a point where we have like, we can communicate so well from long distances. We can send everything electronically. And I would just argue it's time to do like a city exodus, where it's like, hey, here's the city right here. And then just over the course of the next like 60 or 70 years, that population is just taking up, 100 times that area now. Everybody's got a reasonable plot of land that they can grow their own food on and stuff.
But we're not going this way.
That's my like core argument for most of my thoughts.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're not
time for the exodus.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is time for the exodus. We need to get out of the insanity, but we're not. It's not. It's only going to get worse because we're only getting sicker in the head. We're getting sicker physically because we put, and we're getting sicker because of here. So it's all manifesting into what? The obesity. You know what I mean? The depression.
Oh man, you made me think of something.
We're done. We're toast.
Do it like a
humanity
do it
is
like
the
a
last
sci-fi
stage.
book, right? Do it like a sci-fi book. So do it like 15,000. Say like 40 or 50,000 years from now, right? And there's like humans that moved back out into nature, and they're all like tall, good looking, good at certain things, right? And then there's these like little short versions that live inside the cities, and they're really good at computers, and they have all the coolest AI stuff, and they've got all these gadgets, right? And you can do it like a sci-fi book like that, where you had the two. You're like, we actually diverged biologically over time,
And here's
behavior.
And here's where I picture that doc, and this one. And I noticed this about him in Bible groups. Like, I'll say something so negative, and he's always so positive. You know what I mean? We've even had arguments about, I'll say something so negative, and he'll be so positive. You know what I mean? So, I'll say, we're at the end of existence, and this holistic doctor, he's saying we have a chance. So you're saying that we have a chance? You think we have a chance as humanity?
Absolutely.
That we're waxing worse and worse. And my stats show me. The stats show me.
But individually, you can take control of your own person.
Yes, of course
we have
you
the
can.
magical
Okay, so
power
do
of
it.
choice.
Yeah, but I'm saying it is so bad now. It's the numbers are going so high. You have your work cut out for you.
Now
You have your work cut out for you.
If there's no money in it, then the world will
that's
be...
true. Right, exactly.
So
That's the Sodom and Gomorrah concept, though.
What, Tatianna?
What numbers go high?
Say it again?
What numbers go high? What
Yeah,
numbers go
all
high?
of this. All the numbers are high of unhealth, cancer, mental depression, suicides. Everything is getting worse.
The Sodom
Divorce
and Gomorrah
rate, whatever rate. Like,
situation,
you know what I mean?
You're like, I do not think we are in a Sodom and Gomorrah
decadent
situation where society is so demented that you cannot possibly be healthy.
We're in a
I think we have
decadent
stuff
society
going off, but it's not so demented that you can't be healthy.
No,
we're sitting here thinking about
it's just
and
we're getting
lots of people
it's
are
tough
like
fight.
thinking about like, hey, I'd like to go homestead.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, that's a
Why
demonstration
don't you
that
make
sanity still
Why don't you make
exists.
it your goal
Yes.
to do these podcasts on nutrition and educating the people and telling me, you know what, it's up to them individually,
First of all,
for them, their families, and let it spread out.
This is not a podcast, it's a talk show. but you're right. But
Anything else?
I couldn't talk
You have
about
to
one
get the
thing.
word out there.
I like talking about everything, everywhere, all at once. But this is a great one. Holistically, I'm a holistic talk show host. Everything, everywhere, all at once. I will. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for
I
having
know
me.
you're busy. You got someplace to go. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So thanks, Jared. Jared, I want this on you to be good, so I expect that from you. Tatianna, thank you for being a guest. You did fantastic. I think she did fantastic. Jared, you did so, you did fantastic as always.
I'm the best. So.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah. And go Niners. That's all I gotta say.
Chiefs. I'm gonna vote for them just because it's the one
Just
you're
because you can stand 49ers.
What?
My
Chiefs.
son is 49ers fan.
Yeah.
We've got our bases covered now.
Yeah. Okay.
Turn off now?
So, he wants to go. It's done. Wait. Can you say what you said though?
Did I say something?
About the Chiefs and the Niners?
Oh, it's just the one you're not voting for.
Very good.
I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
one last thing to get.
One last thing.
So the good thing about sex.
Back to sex, got it.
No, this is so.
I mean,
I had my own
it's like
line.
pizza.
my
Even if
product
it's
line.
bad, it's still pretty
I had
good.
my own product line of sex toys and stuff. Our
Okay.
toys are made of surgical plastic. Plastics. The important thing is, sex is like a reset on the computer.
Okay,
Everything
right.
shuts down. If you
Like
notice
meditation.
when you have orgasm, what happens? Your breathing
restart.
stops, your eyes close, everything stops. So it really goes back again. So the important thing about sex is when you're producing endorphins, the epinephrines, the oxytocin, dopamines, all that good stuff that you get with the workout. The good thing is you can do it by yourself, or you can do it as a partner. It's more from a partner. Anyway, so the term masturbation is creepy. So what we did is we coined the term for men. It's called wackadoodling.
Yeah.
So rather than masturbate, because it sounds better. And for a woman, it's called pussy puffing. So pussy puffing, wackadoodle your way away. Enjoy.
I appreciate you, Dr. Stephen Kvitky, sex educator, and that's a passion for yours, because that's your passion for health. Thank you for that part of the story.
So many people with cancer just cure themselves through sex.
Mm-hmm. You know what this all reminds me of? The entire topic, the entire conversation is the line that we could solve every problem in the world right now, but we can't get rich doing it, so nobody's doing it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could go on for hours, but who has time? So. Anyways, hey, thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Nice. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll see you again. Don't touch your stop button. Maybe we'll see you again for episode 3.
I hope so, because that means I'm alive.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But you know what I mean? But, I want to hear more about
life is short and so
I wonder your first session was about how
what's long and hard and full of semen?
What's what?
What's long and hard and full of semen?
Submarine.
A submarine, yes. There you go.